Hello students, the next student with which we have to continue, that is the hydrides. That dihydrogen under certain reaction conditions combine with almost all the elements except the noble gases to form binary compounds called hydrides, in which the hydrogen will going to have high electronegatiivity. If E is the symbol of an element, then hydride can be expressed as EHX. For example, magnesium hydride, in which metal is bonded with hydrogen, which is electropositive as compared to hydrogen. So this is the example of the hydride. These are of three kinds: ionic, covalent, or metallic or non-stoichiometric hydride. Ionic, these are stoichiometric compounds of the dihydrogen formed with most of the S block elements, which are highly electropositive in character. However, significant covalent character is found in the lighter metal hydrides such as lithium hydride, beryllium hydride, and magnesium hydride. So these are having polymeric structures. The ionic hydrides are crystalline, non-volatile, and non-conducting in solid states. However, their melts conduct electricity and on electrolysis liberate dihydrogen gas at anode, which confirms the existence of hydride ions. And the next is the covalent or molecular hydrides, in which there is the sharing of electrons between the hydrides. And in first one you have seen that complete transference of electrons, because metal is electropositive and hydrogen behaves like electronegative element. It will going to carry charge Mg plus and H2 negative. Clear? Here plus 2 and here minus 2. And for covalent or molecular hydrides, we can see that these are formed by p block elements. Most familiar examples are methane, amine, ammonia, water, and hydrogen fluoride. For convenience, hydrogen compounds of non-metals have also been considered as hydrides. Being covalent, they are volatile compounds. Molecular hydrides are further classified according to their relative numbers of electrons and bonds. First, electron deficient. These are the compounds that has too few electrons for writing their conventional Lewis structure. Diborane is an example. For example, if we are going to draw the diagram of borane, then hydrogen and again hydrogen, then hydrogen. There is one coordinate bond which is formed at a particular time. So this is the example of the electron deficient hydrides, in which the number of electrons are lesser than to complete its electron, because hydrogen can form one coordinate bond at one time. Both the bonds are not formed for same time. One boron atom will going to be deficient in electrons here. And then next is the electron precise compounds have the required number of electrons to write the conventional Lewis structure. All the elements of group 14 form such compounds. Example CH4, in which carbon after sharing 4 electron with the hydrogen will going to complete its octet, and then electron rich hydrides have the excess electrons which are present as lone pair of elements of group 15 to 17 from suitable compounds like ammonia, which is going to have lone pair of electron. These are the electron rich hydrides. So ammonia, water, and hydrogen fluoride, these are the examples. And then the next is the metallic and non-stoichiometric hydrides. These are formed by many D block and F block elements, as these are being deficient in hydrogen. Examples are lanthanum hydride and ytterbium hydride and titanium hydride. In such hydrides, the law of constant composition does not hold good. It was earlier it was thought that in these hydrides, hydrogen occupies interstices in these metal lattice, producing distortion without any change in its type. Consequently, they were termed as interstitial hydrides. However, recent studies have shown that except for hydrides, nickel, palladium, cerium, actinium, other hydrides of this class have lattice different from that of the parent metals. So the property of absorption of hydrogen in transition metals is widely used in catalytic reduction or hydrogenation reactions. for the preparation of large number of compounds, some of the metals, example palladium, platinum, can accommodate a very large volume of hydrogen and therefore can be used as its storage media. This property has high potential for hydrogen storage and a source of energy. So these are the three kinds of the hydrides, and the next topic is the water. Water is a major part of living organism is made up of water. A major part of living organism is made up of water. Human body has about 65% and plants have as much as 95% of water. It is a crucial compound for survival of all life forms. It is a solvent of great importance. The distribution of water over the earth's surface is not uniform. The estimated world water is like, you can see from here in the table the proper percentage of the water. And then physical properties of water: it is a colorless and tasteless liquid. Its physical properties, as you can see in table 9.3, along with the physical properties of the heavy water. That physical properties of water and deuterium oxide, that is known as the heavy water. Molecular mass: water will going to have 18.0151, and then for deuterium it will going to increase because of the more number of neutrons in case of deuterium we are having. And then melting point, you can see lesser for water as compared to deuterium oxide, and then enthalpy of formation is nearly minus 285, and for deuterium we are having 294. And then enthalpy of vaporization is, here you can see, because of lesser strong bonds as compared to deuterium oxide, we are having it lesser as compared to deuterium. And then enthalpy of fusion, you can see here, in case of deuterium we can't expect any fusion. And temperature of maximum density, here you can see lesser than deuterium oxide. And then density you can see, and afterwards viscosity and centripoise, and then constant, electric constants, 78, the value of the electric constant is nearby same for both. And then electrical conductivity, which we can expect only in case of the water molecule. Clear? And then structure of water molecule: in the gas phase, water is a bent molecule with a bond angle of 104 and hydroxyl bond length of 95.7. It is a highly polar molecule, and its orbital overlap picture is given as you can see here. 2 lone pairs and 2 single bond pairs. Because of the presence of lone pairs, here you can see there are more repulsions, which results in the bent structure of the water molecule. So the crystalline form of water is the ice. Atmosphere pressure of ice crystallizes in the hexagonal form, but at very low temperature it condenses to cubic form. Density of ice less than that of the water. Therefore, an ice cube floats on water. In winter season, ice form on the surface of a lake provides thermal insulation, which ensures the survival of the aquatic life there. This fact is of great ecological significance. And then structure of ice. Ice has a highly ordered 3-dimensional hydrogen bonded structure. Examination of ice crystals work with X-rays shows that each oxygen atom is surrounded tetrahedrally by 4 other oxygen atoms at a distance of 276 picometer. As you can see here, that the green sphere showing oxygen and yellow sphere showing hydrogen. You can see one oxygen is surrounded by 4 another oxygen atoms here. Hydrogen bonding gives ice a rather open type structure with wide holes. These holes can hold some other molecules of appropriate size interstitially. You can see here these voids or these spaces can be occupied by another molecules of appropriate size in case of the structure of the ice.